So I'm down on a quick trip to Cabo San Lucas, and it just makes you think about the story. Ken Smith, who we got the boat from, the Black Widow, his version, it kind of puts it all in perspective about what makes this boat so special. So here's Ken's version of the original story.
The original...
The Black Widow, as we call it now.
The Black Widow, and I'm really cool with that name. I love it, especially Black Widow Racing.
Yes.
Originally, this boat was called Pumpkin Seed.
Pumpkin Seed.
Yes, it was an orange boat. In 1978, the second year they made J24, a friend of mine and I went to the Long Beach Boat Show in Long Beach, California. It's one of the world's largest boat shows. And we walked in. The first boat I saw off to the right was an orange J24. And I'd been reading about them, and I just fell in love. We went over and looked at it, and I was climbing all over it, sitting in the bunks. And my friend said, let's go look at some other boats. I said, I'll catch up to you. For 3 or 4 hours, I sat on that boat. I even fell asleep in the berth. And I just fell in love with that boat. And at the time, I think they were $27,000. I was trying to think how I could get money to buy one. So anyway, I left, and that's all I could talk about for years. 11 years later, I was in Northern California in San Mateo, and I was sailing on this old 41-foot Kettenberg, an old wooden boat with this old sailor, his next World War II pilot named Frank. And he was telling me that his son had bought a J24.
With an orange hull?
With an orange hull. They were wanting to sell it, and I bought it for the hull and what was left of the mast for $1,200.
So did you know it was the same? How did you know it was the same boat?
I thought, well, this is a boat just like the one I sat on.
It's probably not too many orange hulls.
At the time I didn't, who knew? And so, anyway, I bought the boat and I put a new bulkhead in it, got a new Kenyan mast and all the rigging and set it up and was sailing it. And one day, I was in Redwood City at a marina where I was staying on it, and this powerboat pulls up, and this guy said, I was the first owner of that boat. And I said, really? He said, yeah, I bought it from Marina Del Rey. And I said, is this the one that was sitting in the Long Beach Boat Show? He said, I'm not sure, but I think it was. Wow. This is the very same boat that I first sat on in 1978.
Wow.
And so I worked on it. I eventually... did more work, and I wanted to put it in racing spec, so I took it up to Napa, to the Napa Valley Marina. And a real quaint little place. It was small at the time, now it's huge. But I took it up there and started working on it, and fell in love with sitting in the marina in the boatyard.
Yeah.
And all these sailors coming from all over the world with their boats to redo them. It's one of the last boatyards in California where you can do your own work. I actually lived on this boat. Probably altogether, I spent about 10 years
living on the boat while you were working.
Yes, and there were other boats that I would caretake, and I was doing a lot of things. I had a lot of fun. I was playing in a rock band, and in the middle of Napa, here I was in the marina with vineyards all around, this beautiful atmosphere, and it just kind of detracted me from finishing the boat.
But that's okay. You had a floating home.
I did, and then I found these guys. I moved back out. I'm originally from Wichita Falls. And I had to come back, take care of my mother. That's 12 years ago. And the boat set out there. It kind of became a story at the marina there. So in fact, they really loved it. It would always draw an attention for what I was doing to it. It was fun. I was having a really good time. I actually called Dave first. I knew there was a large J24 fleet in Texas, and I knew that Corinthian. I had come down here a couple of times and just kind of walked around in here, looking around, and thinking I'd bring the boat here eventually.
Yeah.
But I somehow got a name. I don't remember how. Maybe it's through the internet or sailing J24 magazine or something. And I got Dave's name, and I called him, and he was kind of interested, but
he just bought Clifford, so he's kind of like, well, I just bought a boat.
And so he's, and it wasn't that he was disinterested, but
it was one of those things. It was just meant to be.
It was. I'm absolutely convinced of it.
Yeah.
I even texted Dave that this is
where it belongs.
This is where
for this chapter, who knows in the future, but for this chapter, this is where it belongs.
Absolutely it is.
Absolutely.
Oh, they keep thanking me for this, and I said, no, wait, you got it backwards. I have to thank you. Well, this is my pride
for
and
you
joy.
to come from Wichita Falls was like, what, an hour and a half maybe?
2 hours.
Here?
And there's a few of the things that I'm doing back in Wichita Falls. I'm painting the hatches. And
so
all that
you're
stuff.
actively a member of this
Yeah.
restoration too.
Yeah. Oh, they've included me in all
So
that.
wait
That's-
until
I'm
the
thrilled
day
to
that it
death.
gets and hits the water and you get to go sail on it again. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Oh yeah. I hope there's an ambulance out here.
Can I have the heart attack?
It may. Well, there's actually other people who probably have a heart attack. The guys in the band, because it was always a story with me. The boat was
Because
always
I never
a
thought
story.
you'd actually go out sailing on
They
it
never
again.
thought I'd go sailing on it again. So I've been texting them.
You're still
and
in touch with
selling
all
it.
of them.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah,
you're
some
gonna
of
have to
them
send
are
them a little
around.
video clip it and go. Guess what? It's not an orange hole anymore. But guess where I am?
Yeah.
Sailing again after. Let's say he finishes this by, I don't know when he's, I mean, obviously by May he's going to have it in water. Let's say he finishes it by May. How long will it have been since you were last on this boat until May?
1995. From the time I had it in the water sailing in
So the last time you sailed it was 1995.
1995, yeah.
Well, there's the story of the Black Widow. Thank you, Lori, for putting that together. And I guess join us in October for the Hobie Regatta.